Hey guys, it's your girl Jade. I am doing a movie madness. Trying to get camera situated here. So I think there we go. But anyway, I've already done the other two movies of this, so I don't know if there's any more than three. I have not noticed, but it is called Cabin Fever 3: Patient Zero. Um, it's 2014 science fiction slash thriller. It's an hour and 39 minutes. Um, IMDb gave it 4.5 out of 10. Roger Ebert gave it 1.5 out of 4, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 24%. Um, Basically, it just says vacationers think they found the perfect place for a bachelor party, but a deadly flesh-eating virus is waiting to infect them. You have Sean Astin, who plays Porter. Jillian Murray plays Penny. Ryan Donahue plays Dobbs. Curry Graham plays Dr. Edwards. Brando Eaton Josh. Lydia Hurst, Bridget. Solly Duran, Camellia. Claudette Lally, Katia or Katia, something, I don't know. Mitch Ryan plays Marcus. So, I mean, there's really not that much on this. The only reason I even heard of it before it ever went on to Netflix was I had Cabin Fever, Spring Fever on my laptop, and then I actually owned Cabin Fever, the first movie by Eli Roth. That's what got me into the whole Cabin Fever thing. Was just he has a demented sense of movie style. I think, as I said in my Cabin Fever review, I have a friend who I babysat when she was like 3 or 4 years old. Who, after watching this movie, I told her don't watch it. I informed her, please do not watch this movie. I think she was 16 at the time when she watched it, so I've known this girl practically her whole life. Her brother is my best friend in the world. We dated when we were like 11 and 12, so our moms were best friends. I called my best friend's dad, when my dad wasn't around. But anyway, I told her, don't watch this movie, it's going to gross you out. She didn't drink water for months because of this movie, because that's how you got infected. Was a guy who was infected fell into a reservoir and got it. His blood went into the water, infected the water. People drank the water, became infected themselves. So, anyway, Cabin Fever Patient Zero, I forget exactly how it starts off, but they find someone who is a carrier of it, but doesn't show any symptoms, and they put him in quarantine. Now, he knows he's never going to get out of quarantine because he's a carrier by all rights. Like, he has this flesh-eating virus in his body and will never show symptoms. It doesn't affect him, but if anyone were to touch his blood, his saliva, bodily fluids, and things like that, they would get the virus and pass it on to other people the same way. Anyway, there's a group of friends. There's two brothers, a girl, and a friend. One of the brothers, the older brother, is going to get married, and this is his bachelor party. They think they're going to a secluded island that no one has knowledge of, things like that. And they find out that there's a building on this island. What they don't know is that it has this guy quarantined in it who is infected, who's the carrier of it, basically. Two of them go snorkeling, trying to see the reefs and fish, things like that, and they become infected from the water. You see in parts of it where they're snorkeling and the fish are dead. Basically their bones, or some of the later infected fish, or the most recent ones, I should say, their scales are gone, and you can see the innards and everything, but they notice that all the marine life is dead. So they get back on shore. The girl starts freaking out, like girls do in movies. Like, oh my god, something's up. We need to leave. And you notice, like, shortly thereafter, like, this is a fast-acting virus at this point. In the other two movies, it took like a few days, really, to notice that you had it, but you were still passing it on to other people who were being affected, like, however long after you. It took a few days. This one, like, took moments. Long enough for her to snorkel, get out of the water, freak out, and then you see that she's got like a rash, and then maybe a couple hours later she's got these pus-filled pustules all over. And of course, what does her boyfriend do? She is dating the younger brother of, yeah, of course. I don't know why I love these movies, but I do. They're disgusting. He goes down on her. So he comes up, and his face is covered with tissue and blood, and then she ends up spurting, like vomiting up an atrocious amount of blood. So he comes out of the tent that they're in, covered in blood, and goes like, I think Penny's sick. There's something wrong with her. Like, not freaking out at all. I'm sorry, if somebody, like, vomited that much blood upon me, I'd be freaking out. I wouldn't be like, I think Penny's sick. There's something wrong with her. As you've got blood dripping down your face and off your body. So the movie goes on. They find out exactly what's going on to a point, I think. It's been a while since I saw it. I've had this on my list of movies to do, and it's just been sitting there. Like, I've got all these this whole list of movies, and I've gotten ahead of myself by watching all these movies, but never doing reviews on them. So I'm kind of, like, cloudy on exactly what happens in it. But in the end, I think the guy finally gets out of quarantine. One of the doctors that's keeping him in quarantine, and one of the 4 people that went for this bachelor party made it out. They get on a boat, and they're starting to head back to mainland. And this guy gets them a bottle of water. Gets them some water because they're both thirsty. The guy who's infected does. Now, at the end, they show that this water has his blood in it. And I'm like, wait a minute. How can you drink this water that this guy's given you? Granted, it hasn't been opened. But he's, like, somehow gotten his blood in there, and you don't notice it? I'm sorry, just... Ugh. So now, I don't know if this is, like, the prequel to all this, how all this happens, but it is a really gory movie. I would not recommend it for children. I wouldn't recommend it for teenagers, and half the adult population I would not recommend to watch it. But if this type of stuff does not gross you out, then go ahead and watch it. I can see why all these movie critics and things like that gave it such a low rating, because it is mentally disturbing, just disgusting. So, but because I like those kind of movies, yeah. So yeah, I actually do own the movie in my Cabin Fever set. I own Cabin Fever Spring Fever, and Cabin Fever Patient Zero. So that's how I found out about it. But it is on Netflix if you want to check it out. But be warned, it is disgusting. Do not eat while you're watching it. Well, for some of the parts you can eat. It's not that bad. But the really gross parts are gross. Anyway, guys, that is my movie review. I'm going to try and get through this list so I don't have it just sitting here waiting. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If there's a movie you want me to review, leave it in the comments below. If I can find it, I'll watch it, review it. That way you don't have to waste an hour and a half to 2.5 hours of your life watching it. You just wasted 10 minutes watching the review. So anyway, guys, bye. Love you. Peace.